Welcome back, it's good to see you again. Now today we're doing something a little bit different. I've got the back corner of my section here which is mostly just empty and unused and a lack of storage space. So what we've done is we've gone and got some timber and we're going to build a shed that goes along the back corner here, and it's going to give me somewhere to put a whole pile of gear so that I've got other space to do other things like this. So we went down to the local hardware store. We got this timber here. I've already got a whole pile of tools and nails and screws and things like that. We have some sunlight clear polycarb roofing stuff and some other polycarb roofing down here. So we're going to go and put that building up in the back. It's going to be a new shed. It's going to be somewhere to store more garden tools and things like that, and give us more studio space for doing more vlogging and lighting and things that we want to be doing. And yeah, let's go to it. Okie dokie, so here, first thing we did is a bit of planning, and we had a look at the space we had available. We're going to be chopping some of these low-hanging branches out and getting rid of this mess of stuff down here, and we're going to put up a shed that's about 5 meters long and 1.2 meters deep, and just to make it look like a bit of a rustic cottage in the woods sort of thing. Everybody needs a cottage in the woods. We're going to put a 1.2 meter veranda out in front of it as well, which will also give us a bit of a platform to run the tools on and all of that sort of stuff. And that's what we're going to put in here. So we've got some marine ply for the flooring and the walls, and we've got the sunlight stuff for the roof so we can get light in there. We're going to later on run some safe power couplings across to it from the studio building. We'll show you how that works when we get to that bit. That'll be another vlog, I'm guessing. We're going to build a couple of doors on front too, because it'd be really useful if we can actually get in and out of this thing. So the first bit we need to do is lay all this stuff out on the ground, a bit like a large kit set model. Make sure we've got everything cut, and then get the nail gun out and start putting it together. Okay, so we've been back down to the hardware store, and we've got some safety gear, some gloves, some goggles and earmuffs and stuff, and now we're doing a lot of measuring down here, making sure we get everything right. We've got a plan drawn up over here on our piece of plywood, and we've got all our tools over here, and cutting up timber for the floor framing. We'll get that down first and then we'll build some walls. Making sure we get everything nicely lined up. Thing to remember when you're cutting timber using a circular saw is, if you're measuring a long piece of timber, always add in the width of the saw blade, or otherwise your measurements will get incrementally smaller all the time and you'll end up with one bit too short at the end. Floor joists, and we've just stood it up on end so that we can finish it off. What we're going to do here is nail this fella in here, and then we're going to go get some of the offcuts, and we're going to just nail them underneath in certain places. That's going to give some more strength to the corners, like up here and down here, and it's also going to lift the whole thing off the ground a little bit so water can run down underneath it when it rains and that kind of thing, so that you don't get build up of too much moisture in here. Basically it's short piling is what we're going to be doing. So we'll just nail this on here, put the end cap on, put the short piles on, put it down, and then we'll start nailing down the tar paper between this and the ply, and put the ply floor on, and then we'll build the walls up on top of the ply floor. What I'm using here, by the way, is the DeWalt 18 volt XR brushless nail gun, which uses electromagnetic pulse instead of gas. So it's actually a nail rail gun for those of you who are cyberpunk geeks. Another thing I'm doing with the nail gun is making sure that when I nail it in, I put one straight down at first, and then the next two I come in on an angle, what that does is it puts the nails right down through on that angle and on that angle, so it just gives more strength. So if there's anything pulling away, it's not just pulling one nail straight out or a number of nails straight out. It's got the force coming in multiple directions. It just gives you a much stronger structure for a very simple change in what you're doing. Okay, here's the first of the corner braces that we're doing with the small piles. As you can see, it's not much of a pile in the big scheme of things, but it will keep most of the frame here off the ground. And I'm just going to do it this way, so it comes across the joint. You've got that joint there. And if I just put that across there, not only does it give us the piling, but it also strengthens up that joint a lot. There you go. So now we're going to drop the whole thing back down on the ground, and we'll see where else we need to put some little bits of piling. Okay, so that's pretty damn good. As you can see, it's not too badly uneven on the ground. Some of the bits are nice and flat. We'll get a level out and double check them shortly. Cut up some more timber for the framing, and then we'll bring the offcuts from that back down to here just to show up the piling. Okay, so we built this framing here, which is 2.4 metres tall by 4.8 metres long. We've done it because that's exactly the same size as 4 sheets of the plywood, the structural ply. The ply we've got in the framing timber, of course, is all treated, so it's going to last forever. And yeah, it's just real easy when you make this sort of stuff and design it to fit the sheets of the plywood. So we're going to put some tar paper down along the edges, and then nail the frame through the tar paper into the joists that we showed you just before. And yeah, then all we're going to do is figure out how to get the roof on. Okay, so what we've done now, we've got the wall up, we've put the plywood on the other side of it, and Kieran and I have just put a brace in here at the moment so it doesn't fall over while we're nailing it down. We've put some tar paper down along the bottom here that stops the moisture from getting in, and now we're just going to nail gun it down to the floor here. It's not perfectly straight at the moment, but that's okay, it just needs to hold it in place. Sweet. If you're going to do any work like this, it'll get yourself a nail gun. You save yourself hours and hours on any part of it. There you go, another bit of framing done. We'll take this one down, it's the front wall. One of the sides is nearly there. Because of the way we've designed the sides, the front and the back actually form part of that one, so we only need the one stud in the middle, and it's already up down there for one side. So we'll get this down there, put all that up, shove the roofing joist on top of that to hold it together and make sure it stays up, and we'll come back tomorrow morning and do the rest. Right, so there's the front framing up. It's just going to be standing there by itself at the moment. We've got a brace on the side here that we're going to take off in a minute after we've put the ceiling joist across the top of this one here, which will eventually come all the way out to the front of the veranda. All going really well here. You happy with it, boys?
Yeah.
Come up here. But just have to come that back a little bit. Yeah. When you're chopping something down off a tree, don't be standing underneath where it falls unless your name's Wile Coyote or Ollie. Ollie Coyote, unit name. Okay, so we've managed to get most of the way through doing this. Unfortunately, then there was a huge couple of bangs and flashes and stuff, and we've ended up with a massive thunderstorm going on around me here. I'm sheltered under the trees at the moment, but yeah, it's stopped us being able to have the power tools and cables outside, so we've had to stop building the shed for now. But we've got pretty far. We've got the whole back wall done, the side walls, half of the front wall. We've got the plans for the doors and everything built out, and we've got the framing and the lintel in there. We've got everything cut up down here. The roof joists are up, and we've just got to put the battening across and then put the roofing material down. Yeah, so it's really well. This is a day and a half build so far, and I'm really proud of what we've managed to put together. Okay, so that's been a wee bit of a jump in time since yesterday when the rain came over and we had massive thunderclaps suddenly starting, and we had to pull everything inside in a real hurry to get everything out of the rain, because electric power tools and stuff in the heavy rain, not such a good idea. So we did all that, and I've been to work and I've come home, and now I'm taking the car down to the mechanic. I'm going to skateboard home, and then we're going to get back in and get the roof put back on the shed, and well, not back on, put the roof on the shed. Yeah, that's going to be the afternoon. Rightio, now I've got the last bit of this to do. We've just got to cut the shapes out of those couple of bits of ply, which are going to be the door surrounds and the doors themselves. We've got some framing to put on the back of the doors just to give them a bit of strength. And of course we've got the battening all down now, a couple more nails and that, and then screw down the roofing stuff to the top of that, and we're all good. Probably going to have to snip a little bit of the roofing stuff as well, because I got it slightly long, but that's okay, to go on that end of it so that we don't have to cut the trees back. Definitely don't want to cut back any of the trees. So yeah, this is all looking really good. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, it's getting at, I've got no idea what time it is, it's 8:30 in the evening, it's getting a bit dark again. This is kind of when I have to give up and go inside, but that's okay, because as you can see, I've got the roof up all around me here, and up here, it's looking good. I've used the sunlight stuff so that I don't have to cut windows in the side, which was just going to be a bit more expensive and things like that. And it's perfect timing, because it's just started raining, so I'm going to go and get some nice B-roll of the rain falling down and stuff like that while I still can. I really do say the word stuff a lot.